I think it's the same theme that we're going to see for a little bit longer at this stage of the season, where you have teams that just made moves at the deadline or in the playoff hunt, just being a little overvalued against teams that just are well out of the race. But we're not in September yet, where we have all these call ups playing. It's still major league players going against major league players. So you get some big money lines in spots where it's probably not warranted. So I think the Giants against the D backs are just being undervalued by the odds makers, where this game should be closer to even than it is. I think the same is true for the Indians, and I think the same is probably true for a couple other teams. It's just that if you look at these lineups, they're not that bad yet. And in a month, it's not going to be the case where you just have guys who have never played before will be in the lineups for a lot of these teams. But I think some of the larger underdogs are just good spots to target right now because they're just being undervalued due to not having as much to play for. And that just doesn't matter as much. Like Jose Ramirez is still going to play the same way he always plays. Franmil Reyes, like these guys are good hitters. So the Indians, if I have to pick one, I think that spot in particular against Steven Matz, they probably shouldn't be the plus 180 or plus 190 underdogs that they are.
All right, Garion, what about you? Your favorite play on the DK Sportsbook for MLB tonight?
I'm going to go right back to the Braves. I liked Braves money line yesterday when they were using the husk of John Lester, and I'll like it again today when they're using the husk of Jay Happ. I don't know why they made either of those moves. They still don't make sense to me. But congratulations, Cardinals. You now have Jay Happ, a man who has given up 20 earned runs in his past 3 starts. I understand they're on the road, but it's really hard to fathom how Atlanta's only minus 115 on the money line here. I understand that Drew Smyly isn't exactly a name that gives people a ton of confidence, but Drew Smyly's been a lot better since a nightmarish beginning to the season. His past 8 starts, he has a 2.63 ERA and a 3.25 FIP. He's also only giving up 0.7 home runs per 9, which was really the big issue for Smyly back in April and May. So I'm just kind of shocked you're not having to pay minus 140, minus 150 here for the Braves. So I will take advantage of that, and I think Atlanta wins.
Paul, what about you?
Jesse, I love to go hunting for interesting props, particularly when the payoffs are much more favorable than today's over-under options, for example. That takes me to some fun player props. I'm considering Aaron Judge of the Yankees and parlay that with a win to pay off at $300. So Judge did home run, Yankees win. That gets me a plus 300. Gio Stanton in a similar bet pays off plus 360. I also like Shohei Ohtani to hit a homer tonight for a plus 275 payoff. His mount opponent Colby Allard has allowed 10 homers in only 51 innings pitched. So I like his chances of adding to his major league high in that category this evening.